Happy Cinco de Mayo. I am making for today because Cinco de Mayo is really an American Mexican holiday. I'm making a Tex-Mex favorite that I used to adore when I lived in Austin, Texas and was a poor graduate student. So the good thing about it is it's peasant food because that's what poor graduate students eat. It's called Migas. It's an egg dish. So I've started in my pan here with onions and a little bell pepper and just a hint of jalapeno. And I whisked up my eggs with very little salt because everything else is salty and a dash of cream or milk or water. And they just go in. This cooks in like no time. We'll probably have extra time to talk at the end. So when the eggs start to set, we're going to add things. So migas means breadcrumbs, and oh my gosh, look at that. It's already setting. Cheese. I'll tell you about more breadcrumbs in a minute. So I'm using my store cheese, as I call it, which is your wheeled extra sharp cheddar, private stock. But you can, if you happen to be in Texas or even at many northern grocery stores, you can find a Mexican blend that's very good. It'll have cheddar and Monterey Jack and something more Mexican sounding. Oh, look at that. It smells really good. I wish you could smell it. And then, so I said migas means breadcrumbs. So originally there was a Spanish dish where you put old pieces of bread and fried them up so that they had delicious flavor and weren't stale tasting anymore. For the migas that we used to eat in Austin, we use old tortillas that you fry, or even easier, and that's what they do at most restaurants, tortilla chips. Crumbled a little bit, but not too much. You really want to be able to see and taste the tortilla chips. I love it. I mean, how simple was that, right? Now, you could add to your eggs, you could add some spices. My friend Jennifer, who makes a lot of migas, puts in, pardon me, I'm just trying to figure out how to turn off the pan. There, I did it. Yay! Jennifer puts in a little bit of cumin, either powdered or seed, or she puts in, and she sometimes puts in Mexican oregano. And she does not have a dog barking in the background. Coco. But that's kind of it. Then I'll show you what we do next. So this was 2 eggs, and I think I wrote in proportions for how much cheese and how many tortilla chips, but truly it's kind of, you just grab. So again, I'm not saying that any of you would be hungover on a morning, but if you happen to be hungover and we're just sort of throwing breakfast together. But I also eat it for lunch and dinner because I'm an egg person. These eggs, which are gorgeous, it's not a gorgeous looking dish, but my eggs were, and if you can do this, I advise it, from a local chicken, because as you guys probably know, at this time of year, chickens, like the rest of us, are much happier and more productive. Once the sun starts shining again and there's not snow outside, they produce a lot more eggs, and the eggs have thicker shells, so they're healthier eggs. I mean, I still eat eggs in the winter, but so that is that. I'm gonna have to try some in a minute. I know it's hard, huh? Hard life. Okay. We put a little more cheese on because really, what is life without cheese? And we spoon some salsa on top. I love salsa. This is homemade salsa. It doesn't have to be homemade salsa. And I'm putting on top also a tiny bit, I bought some cilantro. It's not up in my garden yet, obviously. But it did occur to me this morning that I could have used some of the chives that are coming up in my garden. Okay, now I'm gonna have to taste it, and then I'll tell you what it tastes like. I would probably share this with someone else. It's quite a bit of egg, but this is just to give me a bite. I want to make sure I get some of the cilantro and some of the salsa. You could also put fresh tomatoes in, but they're not great yet. So it's got just a little bit of spice. I know I'm talking with my mouth open. A little bit of crunch, and eggs and cheese. Who wouldn't love these flavors? So happy Cinco de Mayo.